North Korea calling new UN sanctions an act of war, saying that it's a pipe dream that it'll ever give up its nukes. The UN Security Council unanimously approving the sanctions on Friday in response to the regime's latest ballistic missile test. But now North Korea stepping up its rhetoric.
We define this sanctions resolution, rigged up by the U.S. and its followers, as a grave infringement upon the sovereignty of our republic, and as an act of war, violating peace and stability in the Korean Peninsula and the region, and categorically reject the resolution.
Joining us now, retired Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, Fox News strategic analyst. Good morning, Colonel.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
We've heard this type of bluster before, but you agree that there's no way that North Korea ever gives up its nukes.
Yeah, indeed. When the North Koreans say it's a pipe dream for anyone to think that they'll give up their nukes, that is one time the regime is being honest. Because North Korea is suffering from this horrific degenerative disease of state. The people are malnourished, even starving. They are literally diseased. The economy is almost non-existent. The vaunted North Korean ground forces are rotting away. We see increased defections by distinctly unhealthy so-called elite troops. North Korean regime and Kim Jong-un, they have bet everything on one hand of poker. And that one hand is their intertwined nuclear and strategic missile programs. And they are going to cling to that because it's all they've got. Right. And they're hoping that even if they weren't to use it against the United States, which we cannot discount by any means, they assume that with true nuclear capability to reach anywhere in the world, the United States, they can blackmail the world. Sanctions go away. There's basically tribute money paid to them, security guarantees. So although we all want a peaceful solution, North Korea is not going to give up because this is their last hope. This is the wonder drug for that vast disease of state.
The fact that they mentioned the sanctions, is that a sign that they're actually working, that they're starting to squeeze the regime?
Well, the sanctions are definitely hurting. There's no question about that. And they're also obviously hurting the people, too. So it's a two-edged sword where we're hitting the regime, but we're also hitting the people. There's no alternative. Sanctions, hard sanctions, are the only chance left. But I'm skeptical. I mean, I want a peaceful solution. Every sane person does. But the North Korean regime has nothing else beyond this nuke program to preserve it. And they've watched Gaddafi and many another tyrant fall, and they know that once the hold starts slipping, it all dissolves.
Well, we're hearing whispers, some warnings from military leaders that conflict could be on the horizon. What are you hearing?
Yes, certainly I'm hearing that. And it is, I only stress, it is not because the United States wants war with North Korea. It is simply because it's straightforward, Rick, straightforward. We cannot allow that regime to have the capability to destroy American cities. Because even if there's only one chance in 100 that they would use it, it's too much to take with this particular crazed, if not crazy, regime.
But this isn't a war that anyone wants, especially South Korea. The toll could be devastating.
Yeah, it could be, but we also have to be wary of talking ourselves into being afraid. There's assumptions out there that Seoul would immediately be destroyed. I'm just not convinced, and we have to take it into account. But the North Korean military is rotting away. We don't know how much loyalty is left, and we have the military capacity to devastate it very quickly. But while we don't want war, if we must strike North Korea, it's critical to do it all out with everything we've got, because if you try to do it part way, then you put Seoul and South Korea at risk.
And because North Korea is clinging to those nukes and won't give them up, and because the U.S. is insisting that they do, you believe that a showdown is on the horizon?
I hope I'm wrong. I mean, again, we want peace, a peaceful solution. And China is the key. China is toughening sanctions, but still not enough. You've got to just bring the regime to a cold halt. And if China won't do that, then I'm afraid that as early as 2018, we may see bloody, violent conflict on the Korean Peninsula, and not because we want it, we don't.
A sobering message as we near the end of this year. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, thanks very much.
Thank you, Rick.